to fight? Since you lost, what's up, Jake? Where you going, Jake? Oh, he's running! He's running! Look at him!
Gervonta Davis just caught Jake Paul off guard with a punch that blew up the internet right outside Miami International Airport. No cameras, no boxing ring, no rules, just pure tension boiling over in real life. People nearby were shouting, security rushed and phones were out everywhere as two of boxing's biggest stars, Tank and the problem child, almost turned the airport into a battlefield, and now everyone's asking what made Tank snap like that.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? If he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
Well, this feud goes way deeper than it looks, from harsh trash talk to contract issues to private DMs that just came out. This wasn't some random fight, it was personal, and it might be the start of a rivalry no one saw coming. Stay tuned, because this is unfolding like a real-life Netflix boxing series with leaked clips, hidden motives, and big impacts on both of their upcoming fights. You won't believe what actually triggered all this chaos. This wasn't some accident, this wasn't out of nowhere. The tension between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis has been quietly building behind the scenes in the boxing world for months.
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
This time Jake messed with the wrong guy. Gervonta Davis isn't like the usual names Jake goes after. He doesn't entertain the clown stuff. He's not a social media act. He's cut from a different kind of fabric, shaped by real struggles, real fights, and real consequences.
Tank Davis. Bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. Back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover, boxer. George was a puncher. Ernest Shaver was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of his competition.
Yes,
he was doing that a lot.
And he got to be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you got to be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you got to be careful of. Other than that, Tank is a really good.
When Jake made fun of Tank's legal troubles, calling him a walking headline, it struck a nerve and hit on a whole different level.
Baltimore native and boxing champ Gervonta "Tank" Davis is sent to jail less than a month after he was ordered to serve 3 months of home detention. He was taken into custody after an impromptu hearing yesterday, and now he will finish his 90-day sentence in the Baltimore City jail. Deputies say Davis violated the terms of his home detention sentence in a 2020 hit-and-run crash. He said his home was too small, so he moved to the Four Seasons Hotel, but did not get permission from the judge. He He received his 90-day sentence after pleading guilty in February to a crash that injured 4 people.
And when he took shots at Tank over his issues with Floyd Mayweather, saying he was just another name living in Floyd's shadow, that's when it officially went too far.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
Tank didn't say anything publicly, but behind the scenes he was watching, waiting, letting it build up. Fast forward to Miami International Airport. Gervonta was reportedly landing for a private team meeting ahead of his rematch with Lamont Roach. Jake, on the other hand, was just getting back from a business trip, still feeling the hype from his controversial exhibition win over Mike Tyson.
What's going on?
What's up, Floyd?
I can have what I want.
Oh, you got camera too.
So what you supposed?
The moment they saw each other was like 2 live grenades entering the same space. Witnesses said the tension was instant, no talking, no handshake, just straight up hostility. And then it happened. Tank moved in with the same lightning speed that made him one of the most dangerous punchers in boxing, and yet Jake took the same shot Frank Martin did when he faced Tank in the ring, but this time there was no ring, just total chaos. Yep, Jake took the same punch Frank Martin did when he faced Tank in the ring, but this time there was no ring, just straight up chaos. The internet went wild, people were freaking out, some fans said it was deserved, claiming Jake brought it on himself after months of trash talk. Others felt Gervonta crossed the line and should have settled it in the ring instead.
Alright, Jake, I'm filming.
So guys, I'm in the hospital. I had an accident. I'm still gonna be able to fight August 6th, so get your tickets at msg.com before they sell out. But I broke my back carrying the promotion for this event. It's broken.
So, Jake, you good?
Nurse!
Jake,
Nurse,
you
more
good?
morphine!
Oh my God.
I broke my back carrying the last 5 fights promotion. My opponents never sell shit. Oh, it hurts!
Do something.
It hurts! These motherfuckers never sell shit! They couldn't sell a pen to a writer!
So what really made Gervonta snap? Let's be honest, Tank's been under serious pressure from a rough breakup with longtime coach Calvin Ford to trying to prove himself without Floyd Mayweather in his corner, plus the federal raids and non-stop legal problems. His world's been in chaos, and Jake stands for everything Tank can't stand about today's boxing game: viral fame, fake hype, and huge paydays without putting in real work.
Clown following the Tyson fight. Tell us, exactly why. Expound on that.
Cause why would he even wanting to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
Jake's win over Mike Tyson in July only made things worse, and let's just say Tank wasn't impressed with him stepping in the ring against the legend who's nearly 60. So when Jake joked about Tank's personal life, his mentor issues, and even his time in jail, it wasn't just trash talk, it was adding insult to injury for Tank. That punch in Miami wasn't for the spotlight, it was about demanding respect.
You think that it's fair to call them boxers now? Talk about Logan Brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. And he tried to knock him out for sure.
But not everyone's convinced the chaos was real. More and more fans think the whole airport scene was staged, a planned move to stir up buzz for what's now officially confirmed. Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is going down this November.
Maybe it can be. It's not a terrible fight. We know that Gervonta's going to fight Jake Paul in November. And then we'll see what happens. If
Eddie Hearn dropped the big news confirming the fight is set right after Tank takes care of business with Lamont Roach in August. For many, the timing feels way too perfect. That viral airport punch looked a little too smooth, and the silence from both sides seems oddly planned.
I gotta ask you, how real or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
And with both fighters known for chasing headlines, a lot of people think the whole thing was a carefully planned stunt meant to get people talking and drive up pay-per-view sales. Let's be real, this fight makes no sense for Tank in terms of his career path.
This might be the worst thing that ever happened in the history of humanity. Jake Paul is set to fight Gervonta Tank Davis in November. This is ridiculous. First of all, Tank, I know you're known for not taking the hardest fights, but you at least fight actual boxers. What are you doing? You know, besides getting that bag. Second, Jake, why are you doing this? You're a bad person. Let's ignore the fact that I have personally watched this man rob a PF Chang's. Let's talk about his refusal to fight real boxers. He gets criticized for refusing to fight real boxers, so he fights Mike Tyson, a 60-year-old boxer. He gets criticized for fighting a 60-year-old boxer, so he fights a current championship boxer who is literally 100 pounds lighter than him. Tank Davis is a lightweight, 135 pounds. Jake Paul is a cruiserweight, 235 pounds. You're never beating this fraud allegation, Jake, so why are you doing this? What do you guys think of this fight? And don't tell me anything good. Say it in the comments, though.
Let's say Tank dominates Lamont Roach in August. No drama, just a clear win. The comeback is complete. The critics are quiet and the unstoppable Tank is back. You'd expect his next step to be Shakur Stevenson or a rematch with Devin Haney. Right, wrong. Instead, he's going after a Netflix payday with a YouTuber.
When we wanted the Loma fight, when it was in its prime, him and Mayweather, their team just, they just danced around it. When we wanted the Devin fight for Undisputed, the belts don't matter. I could just give them to my kids because everybody's winning belts. Shakur, he's easy work, he's boring, but you don't want to unify against him. Keyshawn might have a chance. You feel me? It's just disgusting. We wanted the Bud fight too after he called him out, and we also would have took a Teofimo Lopez fight. But then his fans would say, oh, but they're too big. They're not in his weight class. What the fuck is Jake Paul? This is the bullshit I be talking about. Like, this shit does nothing for the sport of boxing, but in terms of the division of 135, it doesn't do jack shit.
Make it make sense now. Flip it around. Imagine Tank loses to Roach. That's 2 back-to-back defeats, and let's be honest, Roach almost won the first one. If the ref had counted that knockdown, things could have gone differently. If Tank slips in the rematch, the buzz for a fight with Jake Paul disappears. Who's really watching a guy coming off a loss to Lamont Roach take on Jake?
Didn't say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
It'll look like a desperate move, like someone who's done taking on real competition and is just chasing an easy paycheck.
What you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they want, what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
And honestly, that's what many people are already thinking. Just look at the signs. Tank's been mentioning retirement and even said boxing feels boring now.
Why are you retiring?
What trash? What changed? What made this shit trash? Garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby? Usually they're around to.
You think you might regain the love for it though? You never know. Like you said, you got to squawk today.
Oh, and here's the kicker. Tank was spotted smoking during training camp. Yeah, the same camp for his fight with Lamont Roach. No surprise, he nearly got dropped.
It's been to the streets. I know you ain't focused. Tighten up.
That's why I got everybody out of that. That's why I got everybody out of that. If you see my page again,
better tighten up.
He straight up cut ties with Calvin Ford, the only coach who had been in his corner since day one.
something is definitely going on between Calvin Ford and Gervonta Davis. Now, we all seen that knockdown in the 9th round, but what you probably didn't see is what happened after that in between rounds. Check this out. Coach Barry Hunter trained Tank for this fight with Lamont Roach, not Calvin Ford. A lot of people were saying that this performance has something to do with that. So, is something really going on between Calvin Ford and Tank Davis? Check out what Tank had to say.
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so. It's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
Everything Tank's been doing lately is basically saying, I'm done with boxing. So why take the Jake Paul fight? Simple, it's all about the money. Tank's not after titles anymore, he's after millions, and Jake Paul, for all his trash talk, brings views, buzz, hype, and most importantly, big paychecks.
Is it true that you made $170 million from this fight?
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever.
60 million households, Jake.
250 million people. Bro, that is so... It's all downhill from here.
No, for sure.
I peaked.
Jake's fight with Tyson broke streaming records on Netflix. If Netflix gets behind Tank's fight too, we're talking about a $50 million plus payday easy. That's way more than Tank would make fighting Shakur and Haney put together.
Is it true that you made $170 million from this fight?
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever.
60 million households, Jake.
250 million people. Bro, that is so... It's all downhill from here.
No, for sure.
I peaked.
Before Gervonta can even think about Jake Paul, he's got to get through Lamont Roach first, and that's not going to be an easy fight. Their first fight was intense, especially round 9 when Roach landed a body shot that looked like a clear knockdown, but the ref ruled it a slip. Fans were outraged and many believed Roach got robbed. Now with the rematch locked in for August, Roach is coming in hungry and fired up, and Tank can't afford to take him lightly. One slip up and the Jake Paul fight could be off the table completely.
I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure. Because I didn't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And I could have definitely did more. He caught me with a good shot, but it was times that I sat in there with him and I'm like, damn, this guy like super slow. Well, not super slow, but he's slow, and I could have took advantage of the moments. But I think I was boxing too much in the beginning, and when I felt like he was slow, it was just all relate down the line type of thing. But I should have pressed the issue. I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault.
Fans are buzzing about this Tank versus Jake showdown, but first let's talk about how crazy this really is. Jake Paul just announced he's fighting at 195 pounds. That's basically heavyweight territory.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you were saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis fights at 135 and has never looked solid even at 140. That's 6 full weight classes apart. It's like asking a pit bull to fight a bear. How does that make sense? And it gets even crazier. This so-called exhibition has no headgear, no judges, no scoring, but full power knockouts are allowed. So basically Tank is walking into a street fight with a guy built like a linebacker.
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year. We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming content, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.